everybody and welcome back to my channel, where today, for the first time in a long time, I'm doing a speed drawing video for myself. That's right, no one's requested it, no one wanted it, except for me. I wanted to do it. Now, when I was drawing on Twitch, there were quiet periods, as there always is on Twitch when you're streaming, and no one had picked a character or a design that they wanted to do in that bottom right-hand corner, and no one had also picked the numbers A1. So I figured, while I was waiting for someone to pick a character, a letter, and a number so that I knew what I was drawing next, I would draw a character for myself. Now, a game series that I've probably mentioned on this channel a lot, and if you've watched any of my Project Zero / Fatal Frame videos, you know that I adore this series. I love the protagonist of the first game, Kirie Himuro. Now, she's a beautiful, tragic character, and I absolutely adored all of the endings and how sweet and lovely she actually ended up being. And the reason that she was the way that she was while fighting you during the game was because of a corruption of her soul and the desperation of love. What do I mean by that? Well, Kirie Himuro was raised within the family Himuro as a shrine maiden. What does that mean? Well, every single child until the age of 10 is of female status, not male, is raised as if they are going to have a purpose. Every 10 or so years, there is what's called the blinding demon ritual, where the loser of a previous game, yes, I'll get into that, is blinded, and then she is sent out to find the girls. The first girl that she catches during this game, which is conveniently called Demon Tag, in which the blinded maiden is the demon, if she catches that first girl that is caught is going to be the next demon. Why? Because she is considered to have weak psychic abilities and therefore is close to the spirit world and cannot defend from it and can be inhibited by this demon. Inhabited, not inhibited. Kirie was not the blind maiden. She was the most important girl of this game of Demon Tag. She was the last to be caught. And because she was the last to be caught, she was considered to be a near holy being. She had protection from the spirit world. She could communicate with the spirits. She was a good young woman who was going to be the ultimate sacrifice in 10 years' time, where she would be used to seal the gates of hell beneath the Himuro mansion. Once she'd won this ritual, she was taken to a cell and locked in there for 10 years. She was allowed daily walks out, but it had to be when everyone else was away and couldn't go into the garden. And she was even attended by priests that wore masks over their faces, and they changed the mask rounds quite often, so she could never get attached to one single person. This is a miserable existence. I cannot understate how much I would hate this, and I'm pretty sure everybody else would hate it too, but we're not sure, because essentially up until her, every single rope shrine maiden had managed to survive this and go through it well, because the whole idea was they wanted to foster a detachment from the world. She had to be ready and willing to die and sacrifice her life so that the gates of hell could be sealed, so that her spirit could be strong enough to seal those gates. Unfortunately, Kirie, while out on a walk, one of her scheduled walks, met a young man. And this young man fell in love with her, and she fell in love with him, and the priests tried to get him to leave her alone. And when that didn't work, the head of the Himuro family demanded the young man's death. He was duly murdered by the priests, despite the fact that they did not want to do this, and Kirie was informed that the young man had left the home. Of course, this wasn't the case. He was buried in the bottom of the well. Shit place to die, really. Kirie, knowing this, because she's had a dream of her young love looking at her sadly, decided that she was not ready for this ritual and that she wanted to live, which meant that automatically the ritual had failed. Still, they went through with the ritual and tried it, They tore her to pieces using the ropes, and then when the ropes were attached to the Hellgate spectacularly failed. And because of her desperation and her betrayed love, I suppose is the best terms, she was fully corrupted by the darkness behind the Hellgate and went out into the world to infect others with her pain and suffering. Now, this wasn't all of her though. A small part of her, the young child that was first locked into that cell in the Himuro mansion, wanted desperately to fulfill her mission and save people's lives. So when people came to the house, she would help them as best she could by guiding them through the terrors and hoping that, against all hope, that she could help them avoid her other, more evil half and find peace. And in the end, thanks to Kirie's loyalty to her duty and her love of the people around her, and of course Miku Hinasaki, she goes on to fulfill her mission. And depending on the ending you get, she's either aided by Mafuyu, who is the embodiment of her dead love, or she does this alone, stoically. And she's a beautiful, tragic character. So that's why I love her. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. As always, if you did enjoy this, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. We will see you next time. Take care, have fun, and goodbye.